Ah, shortbread.
It's hard to look at any kind of Scottish imagery without finding at least one tin with Bonnie Prince Charlie peeking out of the front of it. Even on my own merch. But what is it? Where did it come from? And more importantly, how do you make it? Or more importantly for me, how does my mum make it? I've been working on a video about Glencoe. There are drone shots and sweeping shots and whiskey coloured sunsets and tragedy. But sometimes you need a bit of a break from all that. Sometimes you just want to think about biscuits or cookies, depending on where you are in relation to the Atlantic. There are only 3 ingredients: butter, caster sugar and plain flour. Or, if you're my great granny, cornflour. Still, pretty simple. Luckily, first things first, we need to get this thing heated up to about... That's the top oven, that would be a fail. We need to get this thing heated up to about 160 degrees centigrade or 320 degrees Fahrenheit if you're that way inclined. It's thought to have originated in Scotland in the 12th century. Although, if it's anything like the kilt video I did, I'm pretty sure someone will tell me the Egyptians invented it. It probably came from medieval biscuit bread, where leftover dough from bread making was dried out in a low oven to make a kind of rusk.
We need 250 grams or a block of butter. Then we have to soften that up a bit, adding in 125 grams of caster sugar.
Shortbread may have had some outside French interference. Firstly through the Old Alliance that dates back to the Wars of Independence, and later due to Mary Queen of Scots, who was half French and married to a Frenchman, and probably had the odd pastry chef on her payroll. I mean, you would. Popular history has it that Mary refined shortbread, but there's no real evidence for that. So that should be nicely creamed. To be honest, it's a bit of a workout. But here's where things get weird. Remember, this is my great-grandmother's recipe, and if I don't get it right, she might come back and haunt me. So, we need 250 grams of plain flour. And then we need 125 grams of corn flour. What's 250 plus 125? So now I'm going to have to get in there with my hands. You can use a mixer or you can stick it on a board and kind of bring it together with your hands that way, but I'm just going to do it in the bowl. Probably because it saves on the washing up. Quite literally ready to roll. A little bit of flour on the worktop. And you want to roll this to about ½ an inch thick. Obviously there's different ways you can do this. You can make rounds or you can cut it into fingers. And if you're doing that, you want to make it a little bit thicker. Or if you want to be really manly, petticoat tails. This is a traditional shortbread mould, and it's thought this could be kind of a French influence. The name petticoat tails could be a corruption of the French petit gâteau, or little cakes. But no one knows for sure, and the shape could date back even further. I'm talking like I'm some kind of an expert that hasn't just been told how to make shortbread by his mum at the age of 45. So last thing we do is pop some fork holes in it. And that's basically just to let the moisture out. Pop this on the middle shelf for 40 minutes.
And then it's a waiting game.
Looks like we're done. Hopefully it's turned out okay. Now all we have to do is wait for them to cool down, put some sugar on it, and then wait for them to cool down. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. I'm hoping this is going to be okay, but most of what I do, it could go either way.
The name shortbread has less to do with height and more to do with consistency. It's an old-fashioned use of the word short, referring in this case to a crumbly texture that should melt in the mouth. You can find the recipe in the description.